Harry Potter Cortex Challenge is a small little game for casual players or kids, where you are testing your mind and your eyes, but also your fingers, because you will feel different textures here and you will try to guess what it is on the card. In this video I will show you how to set up this cute little game, but also how to play it. So let's just take a look at what's inside of the box. This here is the setup of the game. We have 4 different pieces on the top. These will be used as scoring later. We also have 10 touch cards. These are the cards with fingerprints on the back, but also a picture with a pattern on the other side. At the start of the game, each player will get 30 seconds to look at these cards and to feel them. Then they are put aside. And then we have the rest of the test and challenge cards. These have a picture on the back side telling you which type of test you are facing. And on the other side you will have the test. These should of course be shuffled real good and placed in the center of the table for all players to reach. So the goal of this game is for you to solve the little riddles on the test and challenges cards. The youngest player will start the game by simply flipping one card over. Now all players simultaneously get to try to solve the card. If you think that you have what it takes to solve the card and you have the right answer, you simply put your hand on the card. Now you will have a chance to see if you have the correct answer. If you have, you get to take the card and put it in front of you. And when you have 2 cards with the same backsides on, you get to take one of the pieces to start forming out the Hogwarts shield. When you have all the 4 pieces that you need to form one shield, you have won the game. But if you are not correct, the card will go in a discard pile. And now you are not allowed to try to solve the next challenge. And you can never have more than 4 cards at the same time in front of you. Meaning that if you have 4 cards in front of you and you win a new challenge and get a new card, well then you would need to get rid of one of the other 4 cards that you already have. In this game we have 8 different challenges. But what do they mean? The first card we're gonna look at is the one with the secret passages. Here, when flipping it over, we need to figure out where Harry Potter is going. And we will do that by simply following his path. Here we can see that he first goes to this window, meaning that he will pop out on the next window that looks the same. Again, we need to follow his path to the next window again, to see finally which secret object he ends up at. When you think you know where he will end up, you lay your hand on the card and you say out loud that he will end up at the broom. When looking at the card to see if you are correct, you simply take the card. Next we have the golden snitch race. Here we need to figure out who is first, in this case the yellow one. Then we need to figure out who is second, in this case the red one. Third is the green, and number 4 is the blue one in the end. Next we have the Patronus card. When we flip this one over, we need to find the Patronus who is only cast once on the card. All of the other animals here are cast 2 times on this card, but one animal is only on the card once. Can you see which one it is? This one here is the Wizard Mayhem. Here we need to quickly see which color is represented more than the others on the card. When we have seen that it is green in this case, we need to cover the card with our hand. And now, without looking at the card, we need to recite every object that was green on this card. Can you remember? In this case here, it was coins, a bird case, star, and some envelopes. If you manage to say all of those items, you got to take the card. The next one here, the spell battle, is actually quite tricky. As you can see on the card, the left side is blue and the right side is red. Meaning that when we pick up this card and when we flip it over, the stick itself, but also the magic, will have either a red or a blue color. In this case, the magic stick is blue, meaning that we should pick up the card with our left hand. But the magic is red, meaning that we should point to the player to our right and yell out Cortexum and point on the player to our right, because the magic is red. And you can see here that red represents right. So depending on which color the stick is and which color the magic is, you need to pick up the card with either your left or your right hand, and you need to point to either your right and your left, depending on what color the card is. This is actually quite confusing sometimes. On the magic circle, our job is to flip over the card and figure out which of the symbols from the front that is missing. As you can see on this one here, it is the diamond that is missing from the backside of the card. Again, if you manage to figure it out, well, you get the card. The last card is the touch challenge. This one will have a fingerprint as well on the backside. Now, the player who have lastly won a challenge gets to take on the touch challenge. The other players gets to go through the 10 touch cards, and then they get to pick one that they want to challenge the player with. They take this card and they put it face down in front of the player. Now the player have 10 seconds to try to figure out what is on the card. If they manage to figure it out, they actually get a piece to their shield. If they don't manage to figure out what's on the card, well, then we simply just put it back to the pile with the other texture cards again. If there ever should be 2 of the fingerprint cards in a row in the stack where we draw from, well, then the second card is simply put back into the pile and then we reshuffle the pile. But if the player who lastly won a challenge also have answered another challenge wrong before they drew the fingerprint, well, then the fingerprint sadly is put back into the pile and we reshuffle it. You can't win them all, right? And that's the way the game goes on. We flip over a card and we try to solve whatever challenge it is. If we think that we can solve it, we simply put our hand on it. And then we say our answer. If we are correct, we get the card. If we are not correct, the card goes in a discard pile, and we are not allowed to try to solve the next challenge. But if we are correct and we have enough backsides, meaning 2 of the same backside, we would get a little piece of the shield. And when we have a full shield, we win the game. I think that this game is quite good for kids and casual players. If you just want a little fast gameplay, if you just want to entertain your kids for a little bit, well, this game is quite great. I mean, you have the little challenges here, and some of them are a bit harder than others, of course, but it is nothing that the kids can't work out themselves. I mean, some of these were quite hard for me, but my kids just beat the crap out of me. And the little touch cards here are just brilliant. I mean, the kids love to feel them, they love to guess what is on them, they love to take the little time to just figure out what were actually on the card that they are holding in their hand. And this is harder than it looks like. I mean, you have a little time in the start of the game to figure out what's on the card, and then you have 10 seconds to try to solve what is on the card itself. And that is quite hard. But of course, when you have played this game 2, 3, 5, 4, 6 times, this will get easier and easier, and eventually you will start to feel it, and right away you will understand, well, that's the stick with the snake or the kettle or whatever it is. Other challenges in this game here are a bit tricky. I mean, the one where they have the race with the sticks on them, this one right here, this one is quite hard to figure out which one is actually leading and which was in the end. Same thing here with the little Harry Potter path here. I mean, you don't have that much time until the other ones figure out where Harry Potter is going, so you get quite stressed out to try to figure out where the hell Harry is going and what he's up to. That was Cortex Harry Potter Challenge. This game is quite great. It is of course for kids or for more casual players. Or if you just sit down for a dinner and you just want to play something between dinner and dessert, this game is quite great. It's a fast setup. It's really easy to teach anyone. and it does not take that long time to play. And if you don't want to play the full stack here, I mean, you could easily just split it up and just take less cards to do a faster game. And also, you can pretty much bring this game anywhere. I mean, you could take this to the beach, you could take it to a little restaurant if you want to, on an airplane, wherever you want to. It does not take that much space to play. And you don't need these pieces with you either. I mean, you could just keep scores on a paper or whatever if you just want to bring the cards themselves. This is a quite good little quick, easy, casual games. And I think for the kids, it's quite great as well, because they really need to practice their brain when they try to beat these challenges. And this one here with the right and left and the colors, this one even have me confused. And then we have the little Patronus, and the kids loves to solve the little riddle, they love to beat their parents, they love to be faster than them. I think this game is quite great. We have played this a lot in our home. If you want to know more about it, well, check out the links down in the description and you will find everything you would need to know. And that was the video for this week, my friend. If you liked it, well, subscribe to the video, hit the like button, but most importantly, please keep on remembering, spreading that board gaming love I know you all have. Peace out.